this is Charlene Lee, and welcome to another episode of Socialize This. Today I have Ed Turpinning, VP of Social Media at Wells Fargo, joining me here today in the studio. So thanks again for joining me.
Happy to be here, thanks.
Okay. Now, I want to talk a bit about how blogs and social media can function in a crisis. So you had a bit of a blow up yesterday. Can you talk a little bit about what happened?
Yeah, we had an AP report that our mortgage team was going to Las Vegas for a meeting, and there was a lot of negative reaction to that, especially in this environment, and we felt that some of that information was misleading, so we produced a media response today and posted it on the blog.
And so this is an interesting case of where you're using not just the traditional outlets, but also a presence that you have on the internet to really quickly respond. Talk a little bit about what the advantage, and this is the blog post that you put up there. It has basically some information on here. Talk a little bit about how you're using this as part of your response.
Well, one, why we used it was very quick. I mean, we were able to get this out actually minutes after it went on the wire, and probably a day before it went up on wellsfargo.com, or a night, or wherever it was. So it was very fast. It's also, frankly, you know, we want to use all channels possible to get our side of the story out, and this is yet another one. We already have lots of readers of this blog, lots of engagement, comments. I mean, we've been getting more comments on this blog than all of our other blogs combined. It's just been incredibly engaging for people. So we just felt that we want to hear from customers. We want to tell our side of the story. This is where we can do it.
Now, you just said something very interesting. You want to hear from customers and what they think about this, because that's very important to you, the relationships you have.
Yes.
You heard back from customers. The last time I checked, there are more than a dozen comments on this blog post. What goes into moderating those comments? And I think you were personally moderating those comments today.
Yeah, I actually had some people out today, so I had to do it myself. So, yeah, so first of all, we have community guidelines. We tell people up front, and in fact, I don't know if we can, well, when you enter a comment, you get a checkbox. These are the things that are in bounds, you know, or out of bounds. No spam, no personal attacks. It has to be off topic. It has to be on topic, sorry. So there are all these very clear messages that we give them right when they're entering a comment. So, and that's the criteria we use. We look at that. Is this on topic? Is it not spam? All of that, and we apply that. And if it fits the criteria, we publish it. And obviously, sometimes those comments are not comfortable. It's really hard to read, especially if they're not informed. You know, if they're misinformed. But you know, we do it because that's what this is about. We want to hear from people.
So you don't moderate out all the negative things.
No.
I read one comment that said, you know, I don't trust you. I'm going to be moving my business elsewhere.
Right.
That's harsh.
You read that, right? It's there. I mean, frankly, most of the comments there are negative. You know, it's an event that's difficult to deal with, and people are frustrated, and they're talking about that here. But yeah, we certainly don't moderate out negative comments. That's not what this is about.
Now, one thing I also noticed throughout the blog is you also get a lot of comments from customers saying, I have a problem with my account.
Yes.
I mean, these are customer service questions
Yes.
that you don't take down, you actually leave up there. Do you do anything to follow up with those people?
Yes, absolutely. We do follow up. You know, we've done a few things, like we've prominently posted, you know, this is how you get service. You know, the blog is not the place to get service, and we've actually had to go back a couple of times and remind people, because you know, privacy, security, we don't want to set expectation that you can get service through the blog. It's just not the right channel for it. But yes, if there are general questions that we do answer them. You know, can I pay my mortgage bill in a Wells Fargo office if I have a Wachovia mortgage? You know, those kinds of questions we do answer as soon as we can.
Do you do it directly on the blog, or do you do it through contacting the person?
We do. We do it on the blog. Sometimes if they do submit their email address, which is optional, we will just forward that information on to our service centers and then have them get in touch with them.
Now, here's a key question, though. How many people are required? I mean, this is a lot of work that you're talking about, between writing it, moderating comments, forwarding things back and forth.
Well, you know, we have Anne-Marie is our is our lead blogger for Wells Fargo. She probably spends maybe 15%, 20% of her time. Matt Wadley is our Wachovia blogger, about the same. You know, I have an editor on staff that helps review posts for them and provide tips on making it conversational, that sort of thing. So you know, there's a program manager. So there are 3 or 4 people all part-time doing this. Certainly in a crisis mode like this, it takes a little more effort, because you're looking at a lot of comments and trying to go through those. But it's a significant effort, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to compare it. Certainly, if I compare it to other mediums like television or radio or others, it's probably a lot less.
Yeah. And how do you measure at Wells Fargo the real benefit of this to the company?
Well, the first thing we measure is engagement. So we want to know for every post that we're doing that we're getting feedback. And certainly this is ranked high for that. Our comments also, we look at the sentiment of our comments. You know, are people expressing a positive expression or a negative? And right now this blog is running about 8% negative, which is higher than our general blogs, which is 3 to 4%. But still there are a lot of positive comments. And 8% I think is actually pretty manageable. I mean, I think that people they want to be constructive on this blog. They're giving us positive comments because they want us to succeed. They're part of this. They're part of the solution, you know, being a customer. So that we measure the engagement and the sentiment is really the two biggest things.
Great. Well, thanks for sharing all your learnings
Sure.
from the blog, and thank you for joining us today.
Happy to. Thanks, Charlene.
Thank you for joining us too.